Today I'm making a review of the Fat Decimator System. So I wanted to give people an honest review. What's nice about this review is I actually bought it. And I think that's going to be able to give you a more honest perspective about what this is. I'm going to tell you what I do like about it. I'm going to tell you what I don't like about it as well. And that way it will help you make a decision as to whether this is something you want to use for your weight loss journey. So let's talk about what I did not like first. So when I first bought this thing, I paid the money and normally that's it. However, with this thing, it says order 20% complete, and there's a ton of upsells. I mean, you've got to go through at least, I'd say, 5 to 7 pages of upsells before you can finish your order. And I understand marketing, it probably works for them, but that's annoying. That is something that you need to be aware of. Not all the upsells are bad. Actually, I wouldn't say any of them are really bad. I just don't like that they force you to have to go through them before you can actually get the product. So, an upsell that I probably would buy would be the audio version, because there's also a lot of information in this plan. Mine was about 131 pages, and that's a lot to read. I'm a busy person, so I really would like to have something I can just put on my phone, listen to in my car, so I can read, get all this information, because it's good information. It talks about your body mass ratio. It talks about the real, carbohydrates. That carbohydrates is really as bad as they say they are. How there is no bad food group at all. It's just a matter of how much you eat and when you eat. Intermittent fasting. There's a lot of good stuff. And then Organifi is also a good, well-known product as well. So some of them are good, but I just wish they didn't try and force you to go through them. So those are the main things I didn't like. What I did like is they have some, as I said, they have some really good information. And also what I like is it leaves it open for what you want to eat. So it's not like a big list of recipes like I was expecting. It just gives you allowed fruits, allowed vegetables, allowed meats, things like that. And it just gives you a framework, and from there you create your own menu. And I think that's best, because a lot of diet plans just have these really strict menus on what you can eat and what you can't. And I understand that logic, because some people just want to just boom, 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 and just do what it says to do. But I like that it gives you the flexibility, because if you can decide how you want to eat, then you're more likely to stick with it. So it just gives you a guideline. Just so you know, it's broken up into 4 phases. Phase 1 is where you're basically cutting out your carbs. You're only drinking water, just so you know. A lot of low carb diets that you drink milk. This one, no, you're drinking water. So for you soda fans, be prepared for that. Okay, and then your phase 2, that's when you're going to start doing your fasting. So you're going to do a 24-hour fat fast. You can't eat anything with fat. There's some other fasting in there as well. Phase 3 is where you're going to be doing different kinds of food groups that they want to have in there. Phase 4 is where it is towards the end of the 21 days. That's another thing. It's 21 days where you will begin to ease back into the normal world. And another thing I really like is that it gives you a plan on how to phase back into the normal world to prevent you from getting the weight back. Because that's one of the biggest things. I mean, any diet, you can lose weight. The problem is, once you get off the diet, you're right back to where you started, or more, or worse in a lot of cases. So this gives you a good tips on what you need to do in order to prevent yourself from gaining that weight back and still living a relatively normal eating life. And then it has some really good exercises in there. Now, one thing that some of the women may not like is there's not a lot of cardiovascular exercises in there, and they're actually right to do that, because cardiovascular exercises are the least effective exercise when it comes to losing weight. Because if you do some sort of weight training, something that will build up your muscle mass, you will burn more fat. You'll turn your body into a more of a fat burning machine. Whereas you spend an hour on the treadmill, well, once you get off that treadmill, you'll keep burning fat for about maybe an extra 30 minutes. Whereas if you built those muscles up, you're gonna be burning fat for hours and hours. So that is important, and you do need to know that. Other than that, I would say this is actually a pretty good system. It is something that I would recommend, it may not be for everyone. I would definitely check it out first though yourself and make sure that it is something that it is right for you. I also like that it has a 60-day money back guarantee. So if you're going through this, you're like, this is not working for me, you can just send it back and get your money back on your credit card. It is through ClickBank, so you know that's a vendor that I'm aware of. So you know, I bought through them before and I had a good experience. So anyway, thank you for your time. I hope it works for you.